As we enter our 25th country, we have nothing left to sugarcoat. We're going to share our honest thoughts on this country as we use the transport, eat the food, and even go on an exclusive tour. Today we present to you Bucharest like you've never seen a tourist present it before. Let's dive right in. This is Romania.
Oh. You want to try the card, actually?
Yeah. No, we tried. We're on our favorite public transportation option here in Romania, and that is the public buses. We actually have this bus all to ourselves. It's kind of like having a limo service. Now it's pretty easy because they accept credit cards or they also accept Apple Pay. Now in the B-roll that we got from here today, it actually was refused, which happened the very first time. Every other time it was not a big deal. You can just put your card or you put your Apple Pay. Even if you don't have a city bus card, it's no problem. I mean, the buses are comfortable, they're all over the place, there's amazing routes, and even though there is a metro, which we use to get into town, not from the airport because we actually crossed the land border from Bulgaria, that was also simple too, and the guy was right there at the station to get our metro tickets for us, but there's also kiosks there that we can get them on our own too. But around town, the bus is what we use. There's tons of stops. There's the traditional cable car. There's some really old school ones, and there's some modern ones as well, but we use a traditional bus usually to get from point A to point B around town. The bus rides are 3 lei a person, so you can just each scan your credit card or your Apple Pay account, and it's usually pretty easy. You don't get a ticket in exchange. There's no one who comes on the bus to validate your ticket. It's basically the honor system, and 99% of the time it works right away. Behind me is Arco de Triomphe, or the Triumphal Arch. It is 27 meters high. It is made of granite and it symbolizes Romania's victory during World War I. It was built between 1921, 1922, and there are internal stairs which you can climb up to the top, but I think those are only open on the weekends. It's during the week right now. In our travels, we've seen a few other arches like this. The top number one for us was the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France. But this is a pretty close number 2. This one looks pretty nice. Now let's see if we get a little bit closer to it. Hopefully we can cross the road and maybe go up and touch the arch.
I feel like we gotta take our chance right now. Oh, hold on, after the police. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Alright, we made it. Yeah, this confirms that you can only listen on the weekends, which is fine. Or go up on the weekends. We made it to the Arc, and with the help of friendly locals, there's a bunch of cops around here helping direct traffic, and so I just walked up to one of them and asked like if it's accessible. Like, I know the staircase is closed, but can we get to it? And he said yes, I just don't know where the crosswalk is. So like, okay, we'll start looking. And then this local overheard us talking to the cop and said, I think the crosswalk is over there. She kind of like was walking in the same direction, so she walked us over to it. And then she's like, but just be careful because I'm not sure if people are gonna pause for you around this crazy roundabout. Everyone's going pretty fast, so just be careful, get there in one piece. We made it in one piece, and this place is really massive and beautiful. It's not as big as the one in France, but yeah, definitely the second best arc that we've seen in our travels.
If you're walking around and you want to pay with cash, what you pay with is the Romanian lei. They're absolutely beautiful currency notes. They feel pretty cool. I don't know what material they're made out of, but they're fun to have in your pocket. They are very colorful and they have the faces of some very significant figures throughout Romanian history. The good news is if you do not want to use cash, you really don't have to. I mean, Katy and I found one local bakery while we're here in the country that only took cash, and then besides tips, every place else takes credit card. And if you want to leave a tip, you can leave 10%, 15%, 20%, whatever you want to do. Usually you leave 10 unless there's really good service, which happens a lot of times at a sit-down restaurant. Then we'll leave the 20%. But even with the 10%, every waiter is very happy. They're very grateful to receive the tip, and you're not feeling like you're just paying things because you have to. Also, when it's just Katy and I out eating, like we've never had anyone add a tip or add any additional charge. It's the final bill is what we think it's going to be. So that's always nice. It's not like in America we have to pay additional sales tax. You don't know what the final bill is going to be. Whatever it says on the menu, just add it up and that's your bill. Our favorite mode of transportation is definitely the buses, but there are so many other options. Like there's the metro, and then there's what a lot of people are using are those, I guess, electric scooters. They're like the modern day Segways. They have those lying all around. I think it's by the Lime company, which I think is owned by Uber. And then there's also, if you want a proper Uber, there's Uber cars, which you can use here. There's Bolts, there's taxis, there's all kinds of options. We think the easiest is still the bus, but if you just want to get some fresh air, there's also electric bikes. So there's a lot of different ways, however you want to get around town. Plus it's very walkable. I mean, mostly we could walk everywhere we want to, but the bus system is so easy to use that we just hop on a bus and pay our 3 lei a person and it's no problem at all. Around this park, I think it's a pretty huge park. I mean, there's lakes, and according to our research, this is one of the best places in the city to see a sunrise. We're really not morning people, so you kind of have to take our word for it, but the sunrise over the lake looks absolutely gorgeous. We are in King Mihai Park, or King Michael Park, the last king of Romania, and we absolutely love when cities have parks. It's a really good compromise because I like the city life, people watching, buildings, bright lights, all that kind of stuff, and Katy is a huge fan of nature, so it's a nice compromise when we have a city that offers both. Behind me is a tribute statue to Michael Jackson in honor of his life, and also he performed here in Bucharest and even visited the parliament. If you want to hear more about this really funny story, visit our friend Matt Whiting's YouTube channel, which we'll link down in the description below. Matt also has a video of former Romanian President Ceausescu, whose house we're going to visit next. So make sure to check out that video, which we'll link in the description below, and his other videos, because he does a really good job recapping the history of Romania. Behind me is Casa Ceausescu. Can never say that name right, sorry. But this was built in 1964. It's the 80-room former residence of the Romanian president before the 1989 revolution, where both he and his wife were overthrown and ultimately executed. But if you want to tour the house to see what it was like when he did live here, they do give guided tours. Now the sign outside says that you want to reserve about 24 hours in advance, so make sure you do that and don't just show up. Also, there's some beautiful peacocks walking around here. Just, you know, they're a little bit hesitant, so I see some people like chasing after them, and that's not very nice. But there's beautiful peacocks, there's all kinds of signage that tells you clearly the hours, and it looks like there's plenty of guards and attendants at the front who can tell you where you need to go and give you information on a tour. The metro system is also pretty straightforward. There's 2 different ways to buy tickets. One is via the kiosk machine, in which you can get a 2-trip pass, a 10-trip pass, a week pass, or a month pass. But we didn't do any of those passes. We went to the attendant, and just like when we first arrived in the country, the attendant was able to give our tickets right then and there, and we're able to go in. They give you a ticket in which you scan, you go through, it's supposed to go through one at a time. And then when you're walking down, it's a really nice experience because it's nice and cool. You get all that breeze from the underground area, and you don't have to wait around too long. I think the metro going one way was basically approaching as we were going downstairs, and in the metro that we needed to go on, we only had to wait maybe a minute or two for it to approach. They go pretty fast, so you're able to get to your next location pretty quickly.
Are you recording? That was smooth.
Once you get to your location, there's steps, or if you're lucky like we were, there's an escalator in which you can come up to the surface level, and now we're here in the heart of the city. We are at Cravings here in the center of town, basically, a little bit on the outskirts, but we're here for some cinnamon rolls. Now, I know that's not traditional Romanian dessert. If you want traditional Romanian dessert, you go with papanaș, but I love cinnamon rolls, and I think this cinnamon roll / cinnamon bun, whatever the heck you want to call it, is my absolute favorite, so we had to come out here and have this today. Another popular dish is cabbage rolls. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to find vegetarian cabbage rolls. Now, we have found those previously in other countries, but we're still on the search for that here in Romania. But if you want to see those cabbage rolls and other amazing Romanian food, check out our friends Jacob and Jenny. They're traveling all around Romania, kind of just like we are, and they have plenty of videos where they show you all the different meat dishes and all the yummy food. I think they even have a video completely dedicated to a food tour. And we'll link that down below. Well, after we eat the cinnamon roll. That alone is worth a trip here to Bucharest. The building that I'm standing in front of was built in 1906 during the 40th anniversary of King Carol I. Currently, it's the Office of Commemoration of Nations Heroes. So you can't go inside, unfortunately, and there's a lot of security around it, but I still recommend coming out here and seeing this. Bronze Castle gets all of the love and attention, and they've set it up like a tourist trap with souvenirs outside and guided tours and all that kind of stuff, but it really doesn't have a connection to Vlad Tepes or, Dracula, besides it looking really cool today. We really like Bronze Castle, but that is because we learned the history about how Queen Marie and King Ferdinand lived there, and we really enjoyed all the history and the museum that was dedicated to their lives inside. So even though Bronze Castle gets all of the love and attention, this is really cool because this is an exact replica of the actual fortress or castle that Vlad Tepes actually lived in here in Romania. Now, the real one is not in Bucharest, it's a little bit outside in Ponari, but the real one right now was kind of ruined and destroyed by multiple earthquakes over time, and if you want to get to it, you have to climb 1,400 steps. So you can save yourself the steps and save yourself having to use too much of your imagination by just coming to the one here in Bucharest and checking it out. We just finished our tour at the National Bank of Romania Museum, and it was pretty incredible. Now, it is a free tour and it's a guided tour, and you learn so much. But the key is you have to book your reservation at least 2 days in advance. So you have to go online and you have to enter in your full name and your passport information, and I'm pretty sure they do some kind of background check. That's why you have to wait like 2 days. But we showed up about 10 minutes early because we didn't want to get left out on the tour. The guide spoke pretty fluent English, took us all around and showed us different things like vaults that were in the columns of the building itself. Like, I've never seen mini vaults kind of around the lobby area of a bank. And she took us into a big proper vault in which you had to get like keys from different places, and we go in and it was like red and there was gold coins inside of a case. It was really cool. Definitely have never been into a bank vault anywhere in our travels or anytime ever in my life, so that was really cool as well. We had a lot of really fun people with us. Sometimes tours can be hit or miss with the people, but I really liked the group that we had. They asked a lot of really good questions, and we saw various coins throughout time. Also, the lobby was like really nice. It did look like a modern day like stock trading exchange, the way it was decorated with different gods around it and in the rectangular shape. Really like that as well. Because we're super interactive though, probably one of the highlights was being able to lift a gold bar that was behind a case, so it was a good workout.
Oh, there you go, babe. Nice.
I was worried. The gold bar was 13 kilos, so make sure you get your exercise in before you come to this museum. This is something not everyone's gonna be able to do, so if you don't plan ahead, you're gonna miss out. But if you do plan ahead, make sure that you visit this because it's a free tour, it's a lot of fun, it lasts about an hour, and you'll learn a whole bunch about the history of Romania. The Parliament of Bucharest, or the Palace of Parliament, is the second biggest administrative building in the entire world next to the Pentagon. Now, I didn't know the Pentagon was that big. I've never been there or seen it in real life, but this building is massive. I really don't see how any other building could be any bigger than that. Now, this is the heaviest building on the planet. Now, that makes sense to me because all around town you can see this thing. It is absolutely enormous. I can't even compare it to anything else. I mean, it makes sense that it's absolutely the heaviest. The Church of the Stavropoleos Monastery was built in 1724, which makes it older than the United States of America, where we're from. This seems to be one of the main things to see when you're in the downtown area because it's so historical. You could even go inside if you want to and check out to see how it's decorated inside of the church and monastery as well.
Once you go in, you can really see how old this building is because it's all stone and then they painted the interior onto the stone. And if you look up close and kind of feel the stone, you see all the paintings kind of chipping away, and a lot of the faces on the apostles and the different pictures that are in the church are like faded away. And then the detailing that's on the doorway as you come in is really, really nice. It's wooden, and then just all the details, you could tell it was like hand carved. And then not just the church, but like as you pass the church, there's like a little open area, kind of the center area, I think, for the rest of the monastery, and just very tranquil as well. And they have the candle area as well. But yeah, you can definitely tell the age of this church when you step inside. We stumbled upon this like outdoor pop-up weekend market, and I think I see a Tampa Bay football jersey. I know they have, what is it, Timpa in Russia, but let's see what this Tampa Bay jersey is about, if it actually is. Yeah, it is a Bucs jersey.
Is that a Warren Sapp jersey?
Sapp.
Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer.
Nice. It's 120 lei. So what is that, like 30?
Something like that.
Yeah. Look at that. Is this your shop?
Yeah.
We're from Tampa, and we were walking. I'm like, I think that's a Tampa Bay jersey.
Yes.
How did you get that?
In the second hand by the Romanian import from USA.
Okay. We're like, how did this end up here? That's pretty cool. Yeah, but other sports too. That's really cool. Nice.
I love stuff from USA.
Yeah?
It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool, yeah. Very cool, thanks. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Okay, ciao, vedere. Keep going. We got other places to see, but this is pretty fun. We are currently walking in the road. Well, actually the bike lane. We should probably be walking over here. But I overheard someone say that on the weekends, these roads become pedestrian streets, so no cars are allowed to go through. That's really cool. And there's a wedding going on right here.
The Memorial of Rebirth statue is a tall marble monument here almost in the center of the city. It represents all those who lost their lives in the revolution of 1989. One description I read online is that the white statue represents the purity of the people piercing through the tumor or the cage that is communism. There's also plaques along the side to show the names of those who lost their life during the revolution.
One of the things I like about being in Romania is their language. So because they are a Latin-based language, I can pick up on some of the words because my second language is Spanish, which is also Latin-based. And so with context clues, I can figure out some of the words that, you know, I see around me or on menus. So that's been nice to navigate, even though, you know, we try and learn some of the basics, like, you know, thank you and please and just a few of the basics, and the locals are appreciative, but it's good when we can try and figure out what's going on, unlike when we were in Bulgaria and they have the Cyrillic alphabet. That can't do at all. We were in India, Hindi, and those fun looking letters, can't do that at all either. But in countries like this, I appreciate it.
We're on a day date, but I had to pop in and tell you guys about this bowling experience that we're having, right? So we've been wanting to go bowling for a while, but here in Romania, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but it's half or a quarter of the price to go during the day, during the week, and we have no fixed schedule. We can kind of work whenever we want to. So we decided to pop in. It's a Wednesday morning and we have 1 hour of bowling for only $10. And not just that, but it includes socks. So you don't have to rent socks for like $2 or $3. We have our own socks, but it also includes the shoes and the 1 hour of bowling. All those things would be separate, and even just the bowling itself would be like twice or 3 times the amount of money. It's $10 per lane. So I imagine if there's 2 or 4 people, it's also included. This is incredible. All right, we're gonna go bowling now, but we just had to check in with you guys. This is awesome. Nice. You got one.
I thought I was gonna get a gutter roll.
And more than 2. Thank you so much for watching this video.
Oh wait, no, don't we say it together?
This is WITY.
Look at the pigeon.
Thank you so much for watching this video.
This is, why can't we do this? This is WITY Travels.
What could possibly be next?
We haven't closed in a long time.